Today, we're diving into the supreme stance of devotion. It's a journey into a philosophy that completely flips our understanding of reality, our actions, and really, the whole point of our existence.
All right, let's jump right in with a massive idea from the Shrii that kind of sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. It's this concept that every single thing in the universe, you, me, the stars, that coffee cup on your desk, is all just a different expression of one single magnificent entity. Nothing is separate, it's all connected. So to really wrap our heads around that, we first have to ask, what is this universal reality? What does it actually mean to be a tiny part of this giant cosmic whole? So what is Brahma? Well, the word itself literally means great, but it's so much more than a label. Think of it as the unchangeable, all-pervading source code of everything, an eternal reality that exists way beyond our ideas of time, space, or who we are as individuals. And here's the cool part. It's not just great itself. It has the power to make everything else great too. You know, there's this beautiful old Vedic story that pictures two birds sitting on the same tree, and it perfectly explains our dual nature. The first bird, the Jiivatman, or our individual soul, is busy hawking around, tasting all the fruits, the sweet ones, the bitter ones, and getting caught up in the results of its actions. But right there, on the very same branch, sits the second bird, the Paramatman, the supreme soul. And this bird, it just watches. It doesn't eat, it doesn't judge, it simply witnesses everything. That silent, calm observer is within all of us. Okay, so if we've got this silent, peaceful witness inside us, then where does all the stress and struggle come from? Well, the source is much closer than we think. It's our own mind. So let's explore how this inner world actually builds our reality. And that brings us to a really key idea, samskaras. The best way to think of them is like these little seeds planted deep in your mind by every action you've ever taken. And your mind, which is always restless, is constantly scanning the world, looking for the right soil and water to make these seeds sprout. That right there? That's the engine driving all our desires, keeping us chasing the next thing.
And this leads to a powerful, almost startling truth. Our mind isn't just a tool we use, it's the battlefield where our freedom is either won or lost. The mind is what forges the chains of attachment, but it's also the only key we have to unlock them.
Now, to master the mind, you got to understand its weird personality. It's incredibly powerful, and it moves so fast that it creates this illusion that we're thinking about a million things at once. But here's its secret weakness. It's one big shortcoming. It can literally only focus on one single thing at a time. That's it. And that's not just its weakness, it's the secret to taking back control. So if the mind creates all this bondage through its attachments to our actions, should we just stop? You know, go sit in a cave and do nothing. Not even close. The goal isn't to stop acting. It's to completely redefine the very nature of our actions. First, let's get something straight about what karma, or action, really is. At its most basic level, it's just a change in the universe, a shift. Even taking a breath is an action. So, as long as we're here in a physical body, action is totally unavoidable. Doing nothing is not an option.
Generally speaking, our actions create two kinds of vibes in our mind. You've got white actions, which lead to pleasure and relaxation. Then you've got black actions, which result in pain and tension. But here's the catch. Both of them, the good and the bad, create reactions that keep us tied down.
And this brings us to the real puzzle we have to solve. Since we have to act, the goal can't be to escape action itself. The goal is to escape the bondage that comes from it. The challenge is to live and act in the world without getting hooked on the results, whether they bring us joy or they bring us pain.
So how in the world do we do that? It's through a higher form of action called karma sannyasa. This is where every single thing you do, no matter how small or mundane, is done with the conscious intention of connecting to that supreme reality. It's about merging your own little will with the great cosmic will. It turns your work into a form of worship.
But let's be real. Acting selflessly all the time is tough. What's the fuel for that fire? This is where we get to the absolute heart of it all. This is the power of devotion. This brings us to something called Bhakti, or supreme devotion. It's an intense, selfless love for that supreme entity. And here's what's so mind-bending about it. It's not a path you walk to get to the goal. It is the goal. The feeling of that love, right here and now, is the entire destination. So what does this devotion actually look like in practice? The scripture puts it beautifully and simply. Bhaktir Bhagavato Seva. Devotion is service. It's this spontaneous, overflowing desire to give and to serve the Supreme,
with absolutely zero expectation of getting anything back, not even recognition.
And it goes even deeper than that. For a true devotee, this isn't just a part of their life, it's everything. Bhaktin bhaktasya jivanam. Devotion is their very life. It's the pulse, the energy that drives every thought, every word, every action. It's not something they do, it's what they are.
There's this incredible story that just captures this perfectly. A woman is so completely lost in her love for Lord Krishna that she doesn't even notice she's handing him the banana peels instead of the fruit. And what does he do? He accepts them with total bliss. Why? Because in that moment of pure devotion, the object itself is worthless. The only thing that's real is the love behind the action.
Okay, this is all incredibly profound, right? But how does any of this apply on a regular Tuesday afternoon when you're stuck in traffic or dealing with emails? How do we bring these huge ideas down to earth?
Well, there's a practical technique for this, and it's called madhuvidya, which literally means the honey knowledge. How great is that? It's a method for finding liberation right in the middle of a totally normal, busy life. The whole key is to consciously approach every single thing you do with a cosmic feeling, to see the universal hiding inside the ordinary.
In real life, this is a huge perspective shift. It means when you look at your child, you try to see more than just your child. You see a little manifestation of Brahma that you have the privilege to care for. Your daily job stops being a chore and becomes a form of service. Suddenly, the most mundane tasks become sacred.
And what's the payoff for living this way? You actually start to see it. You begin to perceive that one universal reality, Brahma, shining through everything and everyone around you. The line between what's sacred and what's ordinary just dissolves, and the whole world starts to light up.
So, I'll leave you with this thought to chew on. Adopting this stance doesn't just change what you do, it completely rewires how you see. If every single moment, every interaction, every task is a chance for devotion and service, how will you see the world differently starting right now?